Alright, so in our previous part, the previous section, we managed to set up the theme for our project. So what we did was we created the colors.qml file, which contains all our colors, and the fonts.qml file, which contains the font that we're going to be using. And we also managed to register our theme here. We registered it to the QML engine. So our theme is ready. So the next step that we need to take is to start making the components that we're going to be using in this project. So the buttons, specifically the buttons, and also we're going to lay out the whole UI for the project. So the way we are going to structure this, we are going to first add a background to our window. So let's just run this and see how our window is appearing at the moment. You can see that we have just have a blank window. So we're going to start applying our theme for this application. So we're going to add a background to this window first. So here we're going to add a background. Then we are going to add our menu button, which is going to be at the left. Our menu button here. Then we are going to have a layout, which is going to be our main layout here. So this is going to be our main layout. So we are going to, this is our main layout here. So the main layout is going to contain our, at the top it's going to contain the title, and below it's going to have a temperature reading, then at the middle it's going to have a temperature, what we're going to call a temperature gauge. Then at the bottom we are going to have our menu. So this is how our UI is going to be looking. So this we just put comments to as guidelines, so that we just follow this when we are developing or structuring our UI. So the first thing that we're going to do is to add the background, so that we can just start to get the feel of the app. So as you've seen at the moment, our window is just white. So I'm going to be adding a linear gradient. So in order to use gradients, you need the graphics, the graphical effects a module. So in Qt6 you have to import Qt5 component graphical effects module. So if you are using Qt5, you just have to import graphical effects. You don't need this Qt5 compat. So I'm using Qt6, so we have to import this compatibility module. So I think that's something to note. So after the import, I now have to add the linear gradient. So I'm going to call this our background. Background is going to fill our parent So this gradient is going to be a diagonal gradient that is going to start at the top left corner and running down to the bottom right corner. So the starting point is going to be the QT point 0, 0, right at the left corner, and the end position, the end point is going to be the bottom right. So our bottom right is background, the X position is background dot width, and the Y position is background dot height. So after that we then add our gradient. We have a gradient top, that's starting at position 0, and is the color of so before I put the color, I just need to show you the colors we are going to be using. So we remember we created this colors.qml file in the previous video. So what we're going to be doing now is using this primary color 3 as our bottom right color, and this primary color 2 is our top left color. So here, if we come back here, this position 0, it's our top left corner. So here we're going to put a colors dot primary color 2. Then we are going to put the bottom color position 1, and colors dot primary color 3. So we are done with our background. So let's just run this and see how our background is looking. Okay, let's run building, and there we go. So this is the background of our application. So as I was saying, after this background, we are going to have a menu button. So the menu button is going to be right here at the top left corner here. So I have icons which I'm going to be using for the buttons. So if you need to use external assets, like I mentioned in the previous video when we imported our font, you have to import your assets in the resource file. So here, if you look here, we have our assets, the resource file here. So if you open this in our editor, you can see that currently we only have our font. So we need to add our other assets which we are going to be using. So I have these SVG images, icons, which I'm going to be using. This is for the menu and this is for the power button. So you can just select them and click open. See, here they are. We save this so that we have them in our assets folder here. So now that we have our icons in place, let's create our menu button. So the way I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to create the menu button. This menu button, this menu button, let me just open the QML. So this menu button here, this one, I'm going to create it in place. I'm not going to create a separate component for this one. So here I'm going to create a rectangle. Let's just make an icon. Let's use an item. So this is going to be our menu button or menu. So this menu button is going to have a width of 40 and a height of 40 pixels. So it's going to be located at the top left corner. So I'm going to anchor it, anchors parent to top, anchors to bottom, parent dot not effect. Sorry for this. We need it. I needed to anchor. Imagine that. Let me just open. Let me just comment this and run the application and show you how the anchors work, so that you understand. So if you have no idea how anchors work, so if you see this menu button, I want it to be somewhere here. You see where my mouse is, somewhere here in the top. So the way these anchors work is I'm anchoring this button at the top. If I say anchors.top parent to top, so I'm anchoring the top of this button to the top of this parent, which is our window. So it's going to go up here. Then I'm going also to anchor it to the left so that it is anchored here. And then we are going to have a 10 pixel margin at the top and at the left. So this is what I'm doing now. So I'm going to anchor it to the left of the parent. So parent dot left. This is how anchors work. So the margin, we have anchors dot margin, which is going to be 10 pixels. So this, remember, in item, this is not a visual element. It doesn't appear on our screen. If we run, we won't see anything. So we are going to need, in fact, we are going to need our icon. So the icon is going to be an image. So let's give it an ID, menu icon. Let's just call it menu button icon, right? So this is going to be centered with the item. So center in menu. So this anchor to center in, it centers this image in menu button. Okay, so it's going to have a width of 25 and a height of 25. So this sizing is something that you just have to play with. I think with practice you'll be able to just roughly estimate how large you want your buttons to be. So for now, let's just try with this 25. So we need to also set the source size with our SVGs. So this source size, our SVG will be converted to this size that we're going to set here. So this is an advantage of also saving space. Let's say if you have a big image and you specify a much smaller source size, it will be converted to that size and it saves much space. So source size dot width is going to be similar to our width, so that will be 25 pixels. So our source size dot height is going also to be similar to our height. So we need also to add our source. Okay, so the source, this is going to be the path to our image. So you just right click here and copy URL and then we paste it here. So this is how we're going to do it. So I'm going to run this and show you something. After I run this, I'm going to explain. I'm just going to run this. So if we run this, all right, so if you look here is our menu button. So if you see, the SVGs are black in color, so we need this. We need to change the color of this icon of our button. So in order to change the color of these SVGs, what you need to do is you need a color overlay. So what you need, let's go below our image and specify our color overlay. Color overlay, right? Okay, so this color overlay is going to fill it's going to fill our menu button icon, right? This image, and we are also going to set the source, which is also the menu button icon, and then we are going to specify the color for this. So if we go back to our colors, we need to see which color we are going to be using. So you see, we have accent color 1 and accent color 2. So accent color 2 is what we're going to use. Is the it's a lighter blue, so it is the one we are going to be using for our fonts and our text, in fact, and our menu icon. So if we go back to our main QML, our color is going to be colors dot accent color 2. Okay, so now if we run this, our color should have changed. Okay, so you see, that is our color, but this it's a bit big. I need it to be a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to do is the width, I'm going to reduce it with the image to 20, and this the size of the menu button, of our menu button, I'm going to reduce it to 30. Okay, and save. If we run this, it's building. Yeah, now that's much better. So that is going to be our final icon. So now that we are done with our menu button, let's move on. So the next step is going to be our main layout. So for our main layout, we are going to use the layouts. So I think if you have used QML before, you understand that Qt Quick provides a module that says layouts, column layouts, row layout, and grid layout. So we are going to import that module. Say import Qt Quick layout. There we go. So our main layout is going to be a column layout. So column layout ID, give it an ID, our main layout. So our main layout is going to fill the whole. It's going to fill. Let me just run and show you what we need. So we have a main layout which is going to fill this whole window, and then we are going to add a margin, a 10 pixel margin to that layout, so that it comes right in between here. So that's what we're going to be doing. So How do we anchor it? I think you know, anchors view parent. Remember, our parent is the window. You can give it a name. Let's just give it IDs. It's a good practice to give to give each element an ID. So we're going to call this root. So instead of carrying our main layout to the parent, we can also say root, and it just works because we are anchoring the window. All right, so we have anchored our column layout to our window. We need to specify the margins right around. It's going to be 10 pixels. So we now have our layout in place. So what we're going to do next is to add the title. So it's going to be a text ID type, and our type is going to be temperature. I have to spell that right. Okay, so we going to position this text on the horizontal center of our layout. So the layouts, the column layouts or layouting, they have attached properties. So if you need to center an item in a layout, you have to use an attached property. It's called layout. So you need to center this horizontally. So horizontal center, we have align edge center. So this is the flag here that we are going to be using to center this. If we just run this, we just need to see how it's appearing now. Oh, sorry, I just made a mistake here. So you have to lay out your alignment. Okay, it's called alignment, not horizontal center. Okay, sorry for that. So if we run this, okay, I think there's something that's not quite right here. Let's just see what it is. So if you can see our text, it's at the top left corner. That's not what we want. We need this text to be right at the middle here. So I think we have to check our column layout to see what exactly is happening. Okay, let's just collapse this one so that we can have a clear picture. So our menu button is done, and now we have to see where exactly the problem is. So we have said we have a column layout. So our column layout, it's anchors.view root anchors.margins 10 pixels. Okay, let's see if we say parent. Okay, let's just check what happens. All right. Don't know why it is not okay. So I don't know what's really happening with the root, but just check. I'm not sure. It should have worked with root, but anyways, is not working if we use the ID, but it should work. Okay, anyway, we have to anchors the view parent. So if you can see, our text is centered at the bottom, at the center. In fact, all right, it's anchored here at the center of our layout, but we need it right at the top there. So the way we can do this is to add a spacer. So we can create an item right here. So we need to push this text up. So we can create an item. We can call it spacer item and give it the ID of spacer, and then we can use a layout, an attached property that is called layout.fill height, set it to 4. So what this fill height does, it makes this item to fill all the extra space below this item. So let's just run it and you can see what I mean. Okay, so you see our title is now at the top. So if you can see, it's right at the top. It's not aligned with this button, so we need to give it another 10 pixel margin at the top. So to give margins, when you are inside the layout, you can just say layout top margin 10. So if you run check, okay, so you can see it's now there. But okay, so this is not quite complete yet. We need to give this text a color that is similar to our icon, and also we need to change the font. So first we're going to change the font. In the font, we have to give the font family and add our fonts, primary font from our theme. Then we need to give it the color. So the color is going to be the same as our menu button here. So remember, our menu button, we had a color of accent color. We're just going to copy this and paste it here. And also we can give the pixel size, the size of our font. Let's just make this to 13. You can see how everything is looking now. So if we run this, we are running, and so that is how our app is appearing now. So you can see that the text seems to be a bit below, so you can just adjust the margin. We had put a top margin of 10. You can just put 7 and just have a feel of it. So let's see how it appears. So yeah, that's a little bit better. So now we are good. So we have our button and our text, our title in place. So what we need now is to add the next part. So we can collapse our title. Our title is now right. So we have this temperature reading. It's going to be a text also. So we are going to put our temperature reading just below the title here. Okay, so let's name it, let's just give it a comment here temperature reading. Okay, so it is going to be text and ID temperature reading, right? So for now, it's going to give it a static reading. So the text is going to be 25. Okay, I do not have the degree Celsius symbol, and I think what we can do about this one, we can just get it online, probably copy it, but I think we have to find the proper way to do it. But for now, we can just look for it online and see. So I'm going to go online so that we can just have everything. Degrees Celsius, let's just do this Celsius, and at the first symbol we get, okay, this one, this is what I want. So I can just copy this and come here and paste it. I think it copy, or let me just get it again and copy this, come here and paste it. So there we go. So this is how we're going to do it. So let's just remove this C. So I need it like that. So now that our text is good, we can add the font family, fonts to primary font, and we can also add the pixel size. Pixel size is going to be 16, and alignment layout, alignment, also going to align in the horizontal center, and we are going to have a margin in fact top margin of 40. So this is how it's going to be like. So, and also it's going to have a colors accent color tone, just like our title. So let's just run this and see how it is. Okay, it's running, it's building. All right, so I think the text is a bit small. I need it to be a bit bigger, so we can just increase the pixel size. Let's just put 25, and maybe reduce this to margin. Let's just put 30. See, okay, so you just be playing around with the UI until you get your desired outcome. So it's a bit small still. Let me just put it at the pixel size. Let me just put it at 30 and check. Okay, it's building. So yeah, that's a bit better. So we now have our text in place. So we have covered these parts. So this is done and this is done. This temperature gauge, we are not going to be doing it for now. We are going to do this in the next video, because it is going to require some C++ to do this. So we're going to be doing it in the next video. So this bottom menu, that's what we are going to be doing next. So this is going to be right in the bottom here. So this bottom menu, menu, right here. That's where we are now. So for this bottom menu, we are going to have 3 buttons. We are going to have 2 navigational buttons, the left one and the right one. Then we are going to have a power button in the middle. So the power button is going to be used to turn on the sensor and switch off the sensor. So we are going to have a row layout here, row layout. So let's just name it bottom menu layout. All right. Okay. So this we are going to fill it since it is inside this column layout. You can see we have this column layout, and then we have this text, and then we have our row layout. See, our row layout is inside the column layout, so we need to fill the width of this row layout to match the width of this column layout. So the way I will do that, using an attached property that called layout dot fill width, set it to true. You are going to need margin for this. You're going to need a left margin. So let me just run this and show you what I mean. Okay, so the layout is going to be right at the bottom here. So what I need is for the layout to have margins at the left and at the right. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put layout left margin, a left margin of 15, and layout right margin of 15. Okay, now that's done. So inside this layout, we're going to have 3 buttons. We are going to have 2 navigational buttons, and the middle one is going to be the power button. So what I'm going to do, we are going to create a component, separate components for those ones. So here we come here to our projects files. So we are going to add a QML file. We are going to start with the navigation button. So navigation button, right? So we need to save this component in a separate folder. So the folder is going to be called component. So what you do after you provide the file name, you then choose to browse, choose the folder you want to place this in. So we're going to call this components, right? So we choose this and select folder. So our navigation button is going to be created in the components folder. So the way we add that folder to our project is this. We add our QML files. We say components slash navigation button QML, right? So if you save this, you can see it appear here. So if you see here, now we have our folder that's called components that has our navigation button. So now we have our navigation button. I always like to name the outermost component in a root, the root. So our item is our root. So this is going to have a width. These are going to be very small. So it's going to have a width of now let's try 15 and a height of 15. So these are going to have a gradient. So let's just put the qt5 compat graphical effects, right? Okay, so we're going to have a rectangle here, and this is going to be the background of the pattern. Just call it background. It's going to fill the parent, right? Fill parent. So now I'm going to add them. So let's radius. Okay, radius. It's going to have a radius of width divided by 2. So this is going to be a circular pattern. All right, so now we need to add the gradient. So I'm going to put, okay, let's just do this color gradient. Okay, so there is no need for this, in fact. So we are going to just use the normal gradient. We are not going to use the graphical effects one. So this is going to be a linear gradient. So we have a gradient top, position 0, color. So we are going to use pinkish color. So if you go to the colors here, the accents one. So one is that sort of like pinkish, and this one is bluish. So this one is going to be at position 1. The 2 is going to be at position 0. So if you go back to our navigation button here, this one is going to be a colors. So we have to import theme, then colors dot accent color, then the bottom one gradient stop, position 1. We're going to have a color of colors dot accent color 1. All right, so now we are done with our pattern. Okay, so we can go to our main layout. So we come here. So if we now need to use those components, we have to import them. So the way we do it is just say import, then a components, right? So this import will give us access to this folder where our components are. So we need to add these components. So we are going to have a left. So this is a navigation button. So this is going to be our left navigation button, and we also need a right navigation button. So the beauty of creating components, you can see here I'm reusing this is the right navigation button, so we can reuse these components. So if we run this now, and I need you to see how this will appear. We're going to adjust them after you've seen how they will appear if we just run them like this. It's building. Okay, I think I've made a mistake here. So if you go to this, you can just press Control and click here. I have used the color of gradient here, gradient. Okay, so we can go back to our main and run again. So these are some of the mistakes that you might face, and I think you see and know how to deal with them. So look at this now. So if you check here, this is how they will appear, but we need this left one to be right here at the left and the right one to be at the right. So it is the same thing that we did with the spacer. We need another spacer for this row layout. So we need to space here. For now, let's have an item. You can create an item. Okay, I just need for this to be on a single line, so that it will be nice and neat. So here we just have layout dot fill width. Notice that here is fill width, not fill height, because we are dealing with a row layout. So fill width from right. Okay, so now if we run this, you can see now, but it's not looking very pretty. So we're going to make this even much smaller. These buttons, we need them much smaller, and also we're going to push them a little bit up. So we're going to, first thing, let's put this a little bit up. So we're going to have layout bottom margin, a bottom margin of 30, right? And we are going to make these buttons small. So let's try 8, right? And run. See if it pleases our eyes. Yeah, now that's much better. But still, they are, I think they are too far apart. So we need to bring them much closer. So we're going back to the main. So we're just dealing with this layout. So we had put the margin of 15, but let's do 25. Margin of 25 and run it. See how it looks. Okay, so you can see it's now much better, but we can put it at 30, right? Let's put it at 30, and that will do it. Okay, so these are the adjustments that you can do to make the UI much better. So this is how the UI now looks like. So this part is now done. What's left now is we are going to make the power button. So the power button is going also to be a component. So you can just go to our components folder right here, right click and say add new QML file. Now we have a power button component. Okay, so you can see our path is linked to the components. So that's the folder we want. You can just say next, finish. Yes to all. Alright, so we edit again, components, power button.ml, right? So it will appear here, just a second. There it is. Okay, so open our power button and give this root element the root. So like in the previous one, we also need to import our theme because we're going to need the colors. Alright, so this power button is going to be much bigger, so it's going to have a width of so it's going to have a width of 35 and a height of 35. So the width and height are going to be the same, so you can just use you can bind the height to the width. Okay, so if the width changes, the height also changes. So this is going to be our power button. So our power button is going to have a background rectangle. And then you can just call it background, and it's going to fill parent radius width divided by 2, so it's going to be circular, and it's going to have a gradient also like the navigation button. So gradient top, position 0, colors dot ascend, the color 2, then gradient top, position 1, colors dot ascend, color 1. Okay, so for now let's just see how the two are themed. So we're going to add this to our main application. So what we need to do, we're going to need this to be centered. So our power button is going to be at the center like the power button. So we're also going to need a spacer here. So we can say Control C, Control V. So if we run this now, okay, so that's how our application now looks. But we need an icon for our power button. So that's the next thing that we're going to do. So if we go to our power button here, so inside here we have an image, right? Let's have an ID and just name it icon, right? Okay, so our icon, you can give it a width. The width is going to be 20, a height of 20, right? Okay, so we're going to specify the source size. The width should be similar to our width, and the source size height to be similar to our height. Okay, so we're also going to center this, center this to our background, and then we are going to add the path of our icon. So we go to our assets, we have this power button G icon, so here we put it in here. Right, now if we run this, right, there we go. So that's how our UI now appears. All right, so this has been our goal for today. So we have managed to lay out our application. So what we are left with now is if we go back to our main, and let's just collapse everything so that you can properly see the layout that we have done. Okay, so this is how our application UI is like. So we have our background, we've done that. Then we have our menu button, Our menu button is done, and our main layout. We have done the title, the temperature reading, and the bottom menu. So in the next video, we're going to be implementing the temperature gauge. All right. So I guess that's it for today.